Let's talk to Senior Fellow at the New Culture Forum, Philip Kiszely. Welcome to another mad item on my show, Philip. First of all, I'm going to read you. I won't attempt to sing it, mainly because I don't know the tune, and even if I did, it would be terribly out of tune, because among my many talents, singing is not one of them. But this song is called Come Lasses and Lads. Careful, we're already on dangerous territory. This is a classic English folk song. This is how it goes. Come lasses and lads, get leave of your dads, and away to the Maypole High, whatever that means. For every fair has a sweetheart there, and the fiddler's standing by. For Willie shall dance with Jane, and Johnny has got his Joan, to trip it, trip it, trip it, trip it up and down. So a lot of references to males and females there. So the English Folk Dance and Song Society is not referencing the material that it was formed to revolve around, is it?
Well, first of all, it's great to see you again, Kev. Welcome to BARMY Britain 2025. You know, this is as you say, it's the, I've had to write it down because I never remember it. The English Folk Dance and Song Society, EFDSS. It sounds like they should be moonlighting, selling sofas. And they have issued this advice, as you so rightly say. This is backed by the Arts Council England, and this is really important. This is where the real story is, because this is one of those arm's length institutions, quangos, charities that wield so much power and are so undemocratic, and have still, all these decades later, still have Blair stamped all over them. Yeah. Now, the Tory party was going to deal with these and get rid of this strata of influence, unwanted influence. But of course it never did. It was the Tory party. And so we have this, and this is impinging on folk music, men and women. What could be more inclusive? It's gone well for centuries. It's been perfectly fine. Now it's all about non-binary people that didn't exist 10 years ago. Okay, yeah. That's the centre of it. And this is, I started saying this is Barmy Britain. This is what it's all about now, isn't it?
Yeah.
So it's the complete opposite. It's the world turned upside down. It's everybody who was okay before are completely marginalised, or fictional people. How odd.
Yeah, I always used to think that most folk songs are always about maidens on cliff tops as their lover. He sailed out of Liverpool, never to return, and all that kind of stuff. And they have that weird way of singing as well. He sailed out of Liverpool, never to return. You know, but I mean, it's a harmless genre. And yet here it is being polluted by this nonsensical wokery. And lest we make the mistake of thinking this kind of madness only exists among folkies, the British Red Cross last year issued a similar guide banning the term ladies and gentlemen and informing its staff that, and I quote, this is the Red Cross, so a quasi British Red Cross, quasi-medical organisation, informing its staff that, and I quote, people who are not women can get pregnant and have periods. No, that's not true.
It sounds like some kind of diktat from some communist republic, doesn't it? I mean, with this, this terrible thing, you're going about your business, everything's okay, and suddenly you get misgendered on the dance floor,
sounds like an Arctic Monkeys song. I saw you misgendered on the dance floor. I like that. But this is insane, isn't it? But you're right. Beneath it, lying beneath it, is this rather sinister assault on just common sense, decency.
It's one of those things, and you see it all the time. And I always come on this show and I give these anecdotes about my life in education and the arts. And I'm going to give another one. There was something a few years ago, and I think it was to do with graduation, students graduating, and the student union, which is just full of these bluehead killjoys. They said, we don't want people clapping because that might be traumatic.
For people who are deaf, yeah.
For people who are neurodiverse, what we want them to do is jazz hands. So what they wanted people to do is, when people were going up agrees, they want people in total silence to go like this.
Because if you made a clapping noise, that would be prejudice against people who are hard of hearing, right?
And so what it does is look weak, it makes us look stupid, it makes our society seem completely incomprehensible to anybody who's looking from the outside looking in. And where do we go from here? I keep thinking to myself, what could possibly be more stupid? But we're in a situation now where this English folk and dance society is saying that you don't use men and women, use names like, and again I've written them down because I've never remembered them, larks and robins. And bears, leads and follows. I mean, really?
It's you know what's crazy, as I say, of all genres, I mean, nearly every folk song is about a maiden in distress and some guy who's leaving her and all this. The entire genre revolves around the sexes, the male and female, and yet they're trying to negate that.
It's about court, you know, that old word, isn't it? It's about courting. It's about getting together. But there's another irony as well, I think, which is...
Quickly, Philip, because I've got to go to the news, very quickly.
This is a genre of the people, and middle-class, chattering classes imposing their rules. It's the same as always happens, and it's really sad.
Very good point to finish on. It's always a pleasure to have you on the show, Philip. Thank you once again.